one theory is that it was a planetary, a series of conjunctions actually. Yeah. If the planets did like a little dance in the sky.
That's interesting. That can.
So you want to do UFOs or pause this in first?
Let's do. You know what? Let's do UFOs.
All right. So what idea is being blocked? First of all.
Well, first of all, the core concept is unidentified life source. That
right. Are we blown? Right. God damn it! If there's a fucking answer, what the?
Yeah.
That's got to be the big one, right?
Yeah, that's the big one.
All right. Let's suppose there are no aliens. Is there anything being hidden now?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you have potential flying or objects, satellites of sorts in the sky. You have potential, FAA.
No. Time out. Like, which idea? If they don't exist, are we hiding that?
So here is in my opinion, a fallacy of when trying to combat mind guards. So the core idea is not the only idea. So the first idea is life, but just because life somewhere else, are we alone? But then the second idea, let's say that's wrong. Are we alone? You still have answers that have, or questions that haven't been answered, such as what the fuck's in the sky, and why is it there, and what is it doing there? So you have the first question is, are we alone? The second question is more militant, right?
Like, if we're not alone, what is that shit?
Yeah. Are we being monitored? Are we being held? Are we being contained? Why is this here? Why is it something I don't know about that's here? Why can I see? Yeah.
A lot of the videos are hard to work with. Like, they're kind of shitty, and there are some patterns. Is it like some people? Some of these they talk about like these counter espionage theories, where the government is using alien theories and alien rumors to cover up like military vehicles.
Yeah. This is where it all goes to hell. So this is why mind guards are so broken from the core concept, in my opinion. And it's because the minute you block a truth, all of these, whether they're half-truths or full fictions, or which really half-truth is a full fiction, so they just start piling up on top of each other and compounding. So the minute that this truth, and so the only reality of the situation is that this here, what you're talking about, is the only utility for it. You know what I mean? So for mind guards, the only utility is disinformation or misinformation.
All right. Well, so if it's if there are no aliens, then it probably is just a big, like, there's so much.
Well, and even if there are aliens, right? That's the core. That's the big thing, right? This is why mind guards don't work at the core level, because even if there are aliens, let's say that the craziest lunatic by perception has been correct the whole time. He got molested by aliens. Let's say it's that dude from Independence Day, whatever the case may be. Regardless of if that's true, what's also possibly true is that because of this mind guard dynamic, if a controlling entity can keep that dynamic, true or not, to be ambiguous, they can then use it for distraction. And this is why mind guards don't work for people on societal level at the core level, because long
term they don't work. Like, we've seen that. Like,
yes. Well, no, they don't work for the people that are using them long term, but for the people, they just never work. For the people, it's like, in other words, for the massive majority that is citizens and not overseers, you effectively have it never working, because what mind guards effectively do in this world we exchange in is, regardless of if aliens or other life exists, which is the core question, the minute that question's not answered, it's ambiguous. The minute it's ambiguous, mind guards can use it for all of these things. So that,
well, here's the thing though, we got a bunch of possible reasons why we might suppress information. Let's run down the list and see which ones make sense.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
If there are aliens, and the government or the Air Force or whoever does know about it, and they're suppressing it. The question is, what's the motivation?
True.
What's like, which of these things are they? So I can't imagine that the military is either doing dramatic purposes. That seems a bit much. We'll come back to that because people talk about security theater. But if there are aliens, to me, like if I was in the military, I would want more people to know because we would want to develop stuff to deal with them.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And we have a couple of people jumping on. So
maybe I'm out of my mind thinking that maybe the modern military has a completely different theory.
Nope. And I want to update because we just had two others hop in real quick. The UFOs aliens topic here, what we're discussing is actually the Mind Guard and the reasons for Mind Guard. So that's kind of the structure, the UFOs and the aliens, on how it would apply to the Mind Guard ideas to block. So, all right.
That's right. If someone's suppressing aliens, why? What's
right.
What's the value? Why would you hide that information? Now, if the government did something wrong with the aliens, that seems kind of far-fetched too. Like they did something stupid, they tripped on something or looked dumb or ate the wrong thing or said, is that what happened? There was like a meeting with like, no, that seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like what could any of us down here on Earth done wrong with the alien?
There's this question has gotten one more motivation to pop in my head. And I think it's the motivation behind this one. And it's the antithesis of can't handle it. It is, we were incorrect and don't want to disclose it. I wouldn't call that the same as wrongdoing.
Oh, that is the wrongdoing. Yeah,
No. Wrongdoing is not an incorrect prediction. See, wrongdoing is intentional and malicious, but oftentimes people can, and oftentimes people will, suppress information for the defense of their own theory when they find out that the prediction they made was incorrect. And on a larger level, if you are a ruler or someone who is seen as a source of information in a certain topic, the more you're wrong, the less value you have, the less market you have. So there's a marketable defense that has nothing to do with wrongdoing for why someone insecurely would want to cover up their own incorrect predictions.
I get it. It's evidence of error.
Yeah.
So protection of ego, I guess, really.
Yeah.
Let's just.
We see that every day in the group, for example. You see.
That's a common thing. But in the case of the aliens, what error? Who made the mistake? I don't get it.
Well, I would say the only thing there would be, I would say that this would fall more under the can't handle it mixed with the evidence of error. My point to that is, for a long time, it's the same as when Einstein saw the universe was expanding from Hubble and came out and said, I was wrong. And Hubble showed me evidence. I've changed my position on this. After that, there were scientists who said, I just don't like that. And so, in other words, the concept of them being wrong made them completely eschew the evidence that Einstein had just confirmed, complete and general relativity. So essentially, a mixture between can't handle the truth and evidence of error could occur here, where you have shit, we were fucking wrong, we do have extra life in the universe. Oh, fuck, what are the rest of the people going to think when they find out we were both wrong and there's life outside of this world, right? So those are the two things going on right there.
And Galileo is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
He invited his compatriots to look in his telescope and see the moons of Jupiter for themselves, and they refused to look. They were not a mind guard for other people. They were a mind guard for themselves.
Oh, that's exactly it. That's the majority of mind guards we place on ourselves, exactly in that way. We are, right. Yeah. Go ahead.
In other words, the issue isn't that you can't handle the truth. Maybe the issue is that I can't handle the truth. Shut the fuck up.
Exactly. That's but that's always the component. Anytime someone is thinking about what someone else can or cannot do, it is a projection, unless that person has proven that to be the case. So they can't handle that shit, right? Unless you can give me 10 reasons why they've almost killed themselves the last 9 times. you've given them this information. Then this is
doesn't work for
projection.
aliens, though.
What's that?
That doesn't work for aliens, though.
Yeah.
Not for like a government agent hiding it, because having to deal with it is basically admitting that it's real. So that's over. You're done not admitting that aliens exist.
Well, no,
so
for this one, it's a little bit bigger. They have to admit that they've been lying to people for the last X amount of years.
So so lies.
Wrongdoing. Boom. You're right there. So I would say, honestly, this would be the 3 cycle that goes in mostly. Not it would be infrequently fiction spoilers, infrequently challenges matter, and it's really a marriage or kind of a mixture here between these 3, where it's like they either have a projection thought of can't handle truth, they have evidence of error, and both of those bleed into the wrongdoing that was either committed beforehand or is about to be committed in the future because of the fact that they're afraid of their own error.
So this is I think this is all of them, right?
Yeah.
Did anybody really say there's no aliens and feel bad